2022 to order. If you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Mrs. Sensi?
Yes.
And Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We're going to play catch up on some of these minutes over the last couple of months, and we'll get up to date. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April 19th, 2022?
I moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Abstain. Mr.
Horvath?
Yes.
Mrs. Sensi?
Yes.
And Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of May 9th, 2022?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Abstain.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of May 23rd, 2022?
Move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Abstain.
And Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of June 8th, 2022?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Abstain.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
And Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of June 9th, 2022?
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Abstain.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of June 13th, 2022?
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Abstain.
Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 28th, 2022?
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Abstain.
And Mr. Horvath?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on, prior to board member reports, we're going to have a moment of silence for Carol Ford.
It is always sad to learn of someone's passing, especially when it's a member of our Madison family. Recently, we learned of the passing of Carol Ford, a retired teacher for the Madison local schools. Carol was born on December 14th, 1943 in Erie, PA, and passed away on June 30th, 2022 at her home in Concord Township. Carol was a graduate of Edinburgh University and began her teaching career in 1966. She retired from Madison local schools in 2010 after 43 years in the classroom. She loved sharing her passion for music with her students for over 50 years. After Carol retired, she would come back for many years and share her talents with our kindergarten students and play her harp for them. Carol's passion for music was evident no matter where she taught, even in the tiniest of classrooms. Carol not only loved performing on her many instruments, but she also directed several music groups at her church. They dedicated a room to her last month. Carol married her husband Jack in 1970 and they raised 2 children together. Sadly, Jack passed away in May of this year, 2 months before Carol did. Carol will be missed by her children Megan and Eric, as well as her grandchildren, many family members and friends. She will also be fondly remembered by her colleagues and her many students. All of us at the Madison schools extend our deepest and most sincere sympathy to Carol's family and friends.
All right, we'll move on to board member reports. Is there anyone wishing to give a report this evening? All right, we don't have anyone registered for public participation, so you want to address the OPSI contract, Angela?
Sure. First item on the agenda this evening is the OT agreement ratification. We were able to come to terms last week on the agreement, and we're asking for approval this evening.
A motion?
I'll move. I'll second.
Any discussion? Appreciate the cooperative relationship we have with our employees. Move on to ratify the labor agreement. Roll call?
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Reports and recommendations of the treasurer. Welcome. Sarah Palm is our new treasurer. Welcome to Sarah.
Thank you. I just had a few things. There were some returns and advances from fiscal year and last year that we had to return to the general fund now that we are in August, so those are those two items. You will notice on the agenda that there are several then and now certificates. I'm used to putting those on the agenda, and our board policy is anything over $3,000. So I would just like to start putting these on the agenda. Other than that, I've had a great first couple of weeks, and we are working on some grant work and permanent appropriations right now. So thank you.
Could you explain what a then and now?
So a then and now is basically when you receive the invoice and a purchase order was not put on beforehand, that's when you get in the then and now situation. So the money was not encumbered and then the company invoices. So I believe the majority of these were due to the unfortunate situation of the transition and the previous treasurer getting ill. So hopefully we won't have many more of these in the future.
Sure, based on the dates, it looks like that's probably what it was.
Correct. Was there a motion to approve the return of the advances?
I'll move.
A second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
and Mr. Horvath.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there a motion to approve the following then and now certificates?
I'll move.
A second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
and Mr. Horvath.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, reports to the administrative team.
Well, this evening, I thought Maddie was coming. We had an RSVP, but she's not here. But we do have Mike, who is Becca's father and one of the coaches, and Emily, who's one of the head track coaches, here to recognize our two ladies that attended the state track tournament and did very well. Obviously, most of us know that Maddie was a two-time winner in shot and disc, and Becca did very well this year in placing. So we wanted to honor them here this evening. Guys, do you have anything to say?
It was a fun ride. The girls deserved it. I mean, they started way back last June and plowed through till the following June, and Becca didn't have the expectations, or I would say, she didn't get her goals of where she wanted to be, but I know she's so proud of herself. And Maddie exceeded, I think, her expectations from where she started. So it was fun.
Where are they going to school? Are they pursuing that
Slippery
in
Rock
college?
and Duquesne, right?
Yeah, Becca's going to Slippery Rock,
Yeah.
and Maddie's going to Duquesne.
And are they gonna continue?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep, they've already started training. Yep.
Thank you guys for all the work you put in.
Thank
A
you.
lot of hours.
Congratulations.
So, we do have, once they authorize the resolution, the resolutions are back there, and we have a cake. We actually have 2 cakes, because we made one for the girls and one to welcome Sarah. So I bought 2 cakes today. Wonderful.
So everyone gets 2 pieces.
Since the girls aren't here, can we at least take a picture of the cake so the
Right,
girls can see what
beforehand,
their
yes.
cake was gonna look like?
Yeah.
Before we
My
cut it
battery
in.
was dying on my phone, so. In addition, the news media sometimes beats the ODE and schools, but it has been all over the news this afternoon, and I got it the same every way everybody else did from WKYC. But there was a round of safety grant funding approved in that House Bill 99, and they awarded $202,000 and some change to Madison schools for each of our buildings. So all 5 buildings were allocated some additional funds to make safety improvements. We have already been working throughout the summer with our tech department to make some upgrades to our camera systems. So as soon as this money is awarded, we're gonna go ahead and start that work on that project. So that was non-competitive money that was assigned. I read in the article, that's all I know right now, there's $53 million in a competitive grant for additional safety features. So as I get more information about that, we will be working on that with our safety team.
Okay, so for the non-competitive that we got, so can you clarify, is it 202,000 per building?
No.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
high school got 50, Madison Middle School got 42,000, approximately, I'm not gonna read all the numbers.
That's okay.
Madison North Elementary got 40,000, pre-K got 29,000, and South got 41,000. So, and the quotes on the cameras themselves are about half of each of those awards, and then I anticipate the other half then will cover the cabling and installation. So I'm very excited that we're able to, make those upgrades and complete that project.
And you fully intend to pursue the competitive grant as well?
I do, yes. I do want to introduce our new assistant principal this evening, based on my recommendation this evening, as long as you approve it. It's Amy Gupley. She's been a teacher in our district the past year in special ed, and she's now moving into administration. We also have Olivia Morris, who is a new intervention specialist at North Elementary School. This is a big week for her. She gets her first teaching job, and she's getting married this weekend. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All the grown-up things at once, right?
Yep.
So, oh, and Amanda Hall, that's my sweet Amanda that I've known since she was this high. She is going to become an OT in our district, and her mother used to be a secretary in our district many years ago. So it's hard to believe.
Feels weird. I'm excited.
We're excited to have you. The other things I just want to talk about a little bit about the start of school. Our buses and fleet are ready. They've all passed inspection. Joe White has done an incredible job this summer. As you know, we hired a mechanic and he only worked for 3 weeks and the job didn't work out for him. The buildings are ready. Our custodial staff have been working hard all summer to get everything ready. The big question everybody asks are, when are the calendars coming? They will be ready, hopefully by the end of the week so that we can get them mailed out next week. But the calendars will be coming out, and the theme appropriately is all about safety and all the different ways we want to keep our students safe in school. And I too want to congratulate Maddie and Becca and our coaches on the wonderful job that they've done this year and all the hard work, and we're really proud of the efforts. The kids put the work in, but the adults also put the work in to make it happen. So, and that is my report this evening. Dave?
I don't have a report this evening.
Nothing.
All right.
Congratulations to
Amy, who I will miss deeply in the sped department, and welcome to our 2st new members to special education. Thank you.
All right. And we are going right into the recommendations. We've got 2 unpaid leave requests this evening, one for Michigan Guerrero at Madison High School from September 28th. It's not 28/22, it's 2022 through December 21st, 2022. And to approve the unpaid leave request of Sarah Hope from August 16th, 2022 to May 26th, 2023. We are asking you to accept the resignation of Nathaniel Toth, bus mechanic, effective July 30th, 2022, to accept the resignation of Caitlin Flint, Madison High School assistant principal, effective July 31st, 2022, to accept the resignation of Amy Bepley as intervention specialist, July 31st, 2022. We're asking you to enter into the following employment contracts to each of the following substitute teachers is approved by the Educational Service Center of the Western Reserve and or the Madison Local School District's assistant superintendent. And this will be for this school year, beginning with Sharon Alcantor and ending with Ryan Zavota. We're asking you to approve the following casual day-to-day substitutes: Constant Buchanan and Jacqueline Shar-Smith. We are asking you to employ the following building substitutes at a rate of $105 per day, effective August 17th, 2022. Emily Daniels and ending with Noel Bodish. We're asking you to employ Amy Bepley under a 2-year administrator's contract as Madison High School assistant principal, effective August 1st, 2022 through July 31st, 2024. To employ Olivia Morris as an intervention specialist at North Elementary School under a 1-year limited contract, effective 2022 effective for the 2022 school year. To employ Amanda Hall as an occupational therapist under a 1-year limited contract, effective for the 2022-23 contract year. To employ the following certificated personnel under a 1-year limited extended service supplemental contract for the 2022-23 school year, beginning with Catherine Kaminsky and ending with Brett Tomko. The following certificated personnel under a 1-year limited supplemental contract for the 2022-23 school year, beginning with Mike Gilligan and ending with Jack Whaley. The following non-certificated persons under a 1-year limited personal service contract for the 2022-23 school year, beginning with John Maribel and ending with Heidi Verdi. And to employ Mackenzie Wheeler as a second shift custodian at Madison Middle School, beginning July 5th, 2022. And we're asking you to amend the employment contract of Joe Hilton to reflect the 3% based increase as applied to all staff members. And that's the personnel item motion this evening.
I'll move.
One second, I had a question before that. The art went up here. Have we already found somebody to replace the art teacher?
We're working on that.
We're working on
We've
that right
just
now?
gotten our list of subs. Yeah, she's starting from the beginning of the year, but we will have a substitute in place for that.
And what is the rate going for substitutes here in Madison now? Is this,
We approved an increase last year, Dave,
It's $90 for a substitute per day. And if it's a building sub, it's $105 per day.
So we have a motion, we have a second.
I'll move.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
Mr. Horvath,
yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
and the next item is to approve the bus routes and bus stops for student transportation services for the upcoming school year. It's found on file in the board office.
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion?
No changes from last year,
No changes at all with the bus stops.
not to my knowledge, she told me no.
Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
motion passes.
And as always, going forward, if we do find that there was a change and it's not a safe spot, you will immediately take care of that as you
We
done in the
always
past,
do.
I'm sure.
We always do. Dave is on that every time.
There are adjustments, and you know, we ask that the public be patient those first week or so of school while we iron out our routes, figure out, exactly how long they take. Sometimes they take longer or shorter than what we thought they would take, and we'll make adjustments. And we won't allow an unsafe.
We anticipate the first day will be the slowest, or especially middle school and high school will be a little bit later because it's kindergarten is also the first day, and it's the first day of all-day kindergarten, first day getting on the bus. So,
Everybody's parents wanna take
yeah,
pictures
so
as their child's
there will
getting
be,
on
I
the
think,
bus.
some delays on that first day, just by the nature of having all the kindergarten students at once.
But they factored in, cause there isn't construction gonna begin in the next week or two over
I
here.
thought I read that, yeah.
I will check with,
I didn't know how
Kim.
much that was gonna impact, but I know it's gonna be, right, I read it in the paper and I was like, oh, great, right when school starts.
Right, I thought the same thing.
yeah,
And she's very good at staying
Yeah.
knowledgeable. She usually tells us,
Yeah, I
this is
just
going to
wondered.
happen, and I'm
I didn't-
rerouting
it's
this
just
way
gonna
based
be-
on it, so.
Is that the railroad track?
No, right here,
Chapel.
on Chapel.
All right, the next item are two resolutions, one honoring Maddie Moretti, and the other Becca Martin.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Just congratulations.
Congratulations.
I know that all of us are very proud of both of them, and it's wonderful, not only that they went so far and did so well, but it's also good to hear the wonderful things about Madison and our students, and the community rallied behind them, and it was just fantastic.
We wish them both a lot of luck going forward, getting their education,
And
and continuing to
potential-
compete.
And two potential Steelers fans. Slippery rock if you can. Let me out.
Let's let it go.
We had to go there.
Absolutely. Yinzer.
Roll call.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
and Mrs. Sensi.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next item is the second and final reading of the positive behavior intervention and supports and limited use of restraint and seclusion policy, which was basically mandated, all the changes were mandated by ODE.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, on the consent calendar this evening, we have several items. The first is to enter into the agreement with the Madison Township Police Department and Madison Township trustees to provide school resource officers at North Elementary School, Madison Middle School, and Madison High School at a cost not to exceed $105,000. This service will provide an officer on duty for 7 hours per day at North Elementary School and Madison Middle, and for 8 hours per day at Madison High School for the upcoming school year. To improve the contracts between educational alternatives and Madison local schools for the transportation of students served outside Madison local school district for the 2022-23 school year. To enter into an agreement between Madison local schools and Frontline Education to provide analytic solutions effective July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. To approve a 60-month lease and manage print services agreement with Condop effective January 1st, 2023. To approve the contract between Mentor Accepted Village School District and Madison local schools to provide educational and related services for students served outside the Madison local school district for the 2022-23 school year, and to enter into an agreement between the Madison local school district and the Lake County General Health District to provide health services and provide student support services effective for the 2022-23 school year.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I have a question about the resource officer.
Yes.
Are they still supplementing some of that cost as well? Or what has happened that this is?
The actual increase has gone up because they need to attract candidates, that there's just not the part-time pool and officers that are out there. So there has been an increase in our costs.
Right. And they're still covering a portion of the cost
They
as well?
cover parts of it, yes.
No, I mean, I would certainly still, approve it, absolutely. It's very sad that so many people, you know, are shying away from that line of work based upon, I mean, based upon what's going on with, you know, in the world and how they're being treated. I don't blame
And
them
I
for not wanting to
do
do that job.
Anticipate when we get the village, there'll be an increase on their contract as well, because they're having a hard time finding part-time officers that wanna do this work.
I can see why.
So we're one of the only school districts in our region that have a school resource officer in all of our elementary, middle, and high schools. And that's just something that this board, even prior to me, is just prioritized and said, we're gonna try to do this as best we can. We really appreciate the assistance with, or the cooperation with the township and the village, because they do help us with this. And I don't see that cooperation in other communities all the time, so we're appreciative of it. All right, roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, do we have a need for executive session?
Number one.
All right, so we have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of public employees, regulated individuals, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee or regulated individual unless such person requests a public hearing.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
and Mr. Horvath.
Yes.
Motion.
All right, we stand in recess. We do not plan to conduct any business when we return from executive session. We will simply adjourn the meeting.
But we do invite everybody to stay for cash, because there's
Yes.
lots of it there.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, but